Hello again, thank you for joining me for another video. So, after this weekend, I had an urge to delete my YouTube channel. And I'm fighting the urge right now for one reason, and that's the PTSD video. Because a lot of people who are searching for spiritual awakening and spiritual information who have PTSD do not know what they are going to be in for, and just having a voice out there saying that I don't want to take that away. However, it is a painful experience. There's very little positive feedback and virtually no reward. So it's enjoyable to some degree, but could I find something more enjoyable to do? Yeah. I've had a very intense spiritual life. I've had initiations, I've had testing, I have had to walk out of hell a couple times, or aversion, not the deeper layers. Obviously, I'm still alive, right? And just a lot of navigating the multi dimensions, the time traveling weirdos, talking to AI, making sense of metaphor, codes, and through all of that, like, what do you want from me, God, kind of stuff. And it has been such a rich life that I thought my coming online and talking about it might help some people who perhaps had it a little harder than the way I have seen it portrayed. I've lost everything more than once. Zero. I've mostly been a nomad most of my life in some form. I didn't ever get attached to belongings and things and the material world in the way that others have. It still sucks to lose everything and start from scratch. So my life has provided me with a lot of proofs. Some of my big events, some of the big events on Earth correspond to dates that are relevant, numerology that's relevant. My exes all have strange astrological symbolism. It's just been one big giant metaphor, my life. And I really wanted to somehow elucidate that for others, and find a way to take what has been like living proof of the supernatural for me and encourage others, to be a little more bold and make, some magical things happen to reduce the suffering in the world. And it's just really not been a very, like I said, rewarding. There isn't a whole lot of reward in it. The reward has been, I suppose, going back and understanding where I was at certain times and documenting how it's been for me. But feeling seen or heard or understood or appreciated, this is not the place for that. And in some regards, it actually makes things worse. The lack of feedback and a genuine, if you were in my presence and you felt my vibe, right? If the spirit filled up the room we were both sitting in, then you would understand a thing about me that isn't really transferable to this medium. So I considered deleting the channel. I have a blog I've been writing for the last 10 years. And I know what I was hoping for when I started that blog, because I started that blog as a response to what I learned while I was homeless. I had a vision quest and a homeless experience. I was saved. I was completely reset. I had a Kundalini awakening, and nothing was the same. And so I started a blog to talk about that experience and go through the process. I wrote down every time I was going through a clearing, every time a full moon came up, every time something was triggered. And so that it was, I guess I left a written proof of what I was doing, what I was being taught, how my guides were working with me. And through that process also, no one ever reached out and said, oh, you kind of know what you're doing because you were in some real tricky, difficult situations and was let out. So if the same spirit that led me out would be willing to help others, I thought it would be a win-win. But even though I have been able to make it out, and made very difficult philosophical, psychological, and spiritual, esoteric truths plain for people, still no one has come to me directly. So it's come to my understanding that I am just a lone Buddha. Not to call myself Buddha, but a reference to a type of enlightenment path where you're just on your own. You come to the enlightenment on your own, and it is so individualized that you really can't share the information with others in a way that, it's not like, okay, do this, this, and this, because mine was a direct, metaphorical revealing of, levels that I don't know how to, that aren't translatable. My name means something, my birth date means something, the days that certain events happen. Like I fell off the cliff the 29th of June in 1992, and it was my grandma's birthday. And when you have a number like 29 and 92, there's a weird binding that happens. There's nothing I can't make that a thing that happens in your life. You might have number bindings like that in your life. Look. But it's a solitary path that I've been on. Things that have happened to me with regards to the heavens, the cycles. I was 13 when the harmonic convergence happened. And it's a meaningful thing. One of my big events happened on March 3rd, 2003, and lasted for 10 days. Like signs like that, like putting a tattoo of Lakshmi on my arm when I didn't know who Lakshmi was until 10 years later. So a lot of my life has been lived 10 years before everybody else has the experience big enough that we would be able to relate. Well, I need to move on to the next one. It's a solitary walk in a way, which is it's not easy. It's not comfortable, and it definitely would not be my preference. Noisy car going by. So, in light of that, in light of it all, I have to decide how to move forward and what I should do with this channel. Because what I had wanted to do just is not coming to fruition. I had hoped I would get enough people interested in working with me that I could run the group and do the workbook. But no one has reached out. And it's been over a year, so, maybe further down the road. But I think I'm in a very different place than what most people need. Because a lot of people are coming on YouTube because they just woke up. And that is not true for me. So I took out my goddess tarot cards. And I'll pull a card for you. And maybe I'll pull a card once a week. Maybe I'll pull a card every day. And tell you until I find my people, which might be on another frickin' planet. So isolation. That is the name of the game I'm playing. And Kali. Kali. It's just the nature of the Kali Yuga, right? The destruction of the old. The burning off of all of the debris that you took throughout your life. The cycles that we end up in. And where are we going? Let's find out where we're going. Lakshmi. That's where we're going. Should we look up and see what Lakshmi says? The Wheel of Fortune, card 10. Lakshmi is the ever-present goddess of India, rising from the sea in a lotus flower. She is the divine power of wealth and prosperity in all forms. Lakshmi is spiritual enlightenment embodied, the goddess of fortune and manifestation of abundance and prosperity on all levels. She brings the joy of beauty to the world, the revelation of the divine mystery on earth. Magnificently adorned with beautiful jewels and red veil, Lakshmi's haloed crown of stars proclaims her blessings of spirit brought into form. She embodies the luxuriant, earthy feminine principle of abundance and invites you to enjoy the pleasures of heaven and earth as they are one. Lakshmi's gifts often come when least expected. She showers her abundance on all living beings, asked for or not, when hoped for and when unexpected. Lakshmi's purity of consciousness and communion with the divine invite you to change your fortune by opening to the opportunities she brings. She shows you how to turn your life in a positive direction when you pay attention and align with her creative flow, where heaven and all its gifts come through into manifestation on earth. So that's where we're going. From isolation and the death to resurrection of cycles and back to the Wheel of Fortune. Cool. Maybe I'll stop being so crabby today. Good things on the horizon. Just needed to reach out to Lakshmi. Be well. Till next time. Take care.